Hello and welcome. Think about a quiet Friday night when your room is completely silent and your phone does not light up with notifications. For many people, this empty space feels terrifying. They look at the blank screen and feel a sudden wave of anxiety. They start to believe that they are forgotten, unwanted, or broken. They think that if no one is calling them, their life has no value. But this is a massive misunderstanding. Solitude is not a curse. Sometimes being alone is a form of quiet protection. It is a moment when life clears away the useless noise so you can find your true path. It is the only place where you can meet your real self. Most people spend their entire lives in crowded rooms, yet they have no idea who they actually are. They talk to everyone else, but never have an honest conversation with their own heart. They run after attention and beg for validation, leaving themselves exhausted and empty inside. That is why learning to be alone is a superpower. When you become comfortable in your own quiet space, you stop depending on others for your happiness. You stop chasing people who do not appreciate your worth. You stop accepting bad treatment just to avoid an empty room. This quiet time is where you build self-respect, patience, and true inner strength. You are not learning to be alone because you hate the world. You are doing it because you refuse to lose yourself to the crowd. If you want to build your mind, find real peace, and practice powerful ideas for self-improvement, keep watching. This path will change how you see your life. Part 1. The misunderstood nature of solitude. We live in a world that treats being alone like a disease. If people see you eating lunch by yourself at a busy restaurant, they look at you with pity. If you take a quiet walk in the park without a companion, they assume you have no friends. Society has taught us that a successful life must be a crowded life. We are told that happiness must be loud, busy, and constantly shared with everyone on the internet. But this is a massive lie. Spending time by yourself does not mean you are broken. It does not mean you have failed to build a meaningful life. It often means you have finally chosen peace over constant drama. It means you are strong enough to exist without the constant noise of other people. Think about the last time you saw someone sitting quietly by themselves. Did you feel sorry for them? Why do we assume that quietness equals sadness? The truth is that many people who are surrounded by friends are deeply lonely. They fill their schedules with parties, meetings, and loud events because they are terrified of what happens when the music stops. They cannot face the silence. But when you choose to walk alone, you are choosing to protect your limited energy. You are choosing to step away from the endless competition and comparison of the crowd. This is not weakness. It is a sign of immense courage. Look at how people behave today when they have just 10 minutes of empty time. They stand in line at a grocery store and instantly pull out their phones. They sit at a red light and check their notifications. They cannot even go to the bathroom without a screen in their hand. The moment a quiet moment appears, panic sets in. Why are we so afraid of a little quiet? We are afraid because silence acts like a mirror. When the external noise fades away, your internal voice starts to speak. It shows you the things you have been trying so hard to ignore. It shows you your regrets, your secret fears, and your unhealed wounds. It reminds you of the dreams you abandoned and the bad habits you keep repeating. To escape this mirror, people run back to the noise. They scroll through social media for hours, looking at the fake lives of strangers. They send meaningless text messages just to see a typing bubble on the screen. They watch random videos until their eyes hurt and their minds are numb. They drown their minds in distraction because they do not want to face their own thoughts. But running away does not make your problems disappear. It only makes them louder in the long run. If you cannot sit quietly in a room for 10 minutes without reaching for your phone, you are not free. You are a prisoner to distraction. When you finally stop running and sit with the silence, something incredible happens. The dust begins to settle. In the beginning, your mind might feel chaotic. A flood of thoughts will rush in, and you might feel extremely uncomfortable. But if you stay still, the water becomes clear. You start to see your life with absolute honesty. You begin to understand why you feel anxious. You notice which habits are holding you back and which people are draining your energy. You realize that you have been wasting your precious time on things that do not actually matter to you. This clarity is one of the greatest powers you can possess. When you are always surrounded by people, you naturally absorb their opinions. You start to want the things they want. You copy their style, buy the things they buy, and follow their direction. You lose your own voice in the crowd. But in the quiet of your own company, you can ask yourself the real questions. What do I actually want from my life? What kind of person do I want to become when no one is watching? Why am I giving my power to people who do not even respect me? These questions cannot be answered in a crowded room. They require the stillness of solitude. A quiet morning with a cup of tea can give you more direction than 100 loud conversations. When you have clarity, you become dangerous to the things that want to control you. You can no longer be easily fooled by false friends or empty promises. You start to make decisions based on your own values, not on the fear of being left out. This is why alone time is a training ground. It allows you to rebuild your confidence from the inside out. A person who cannot stand to be alone becomes completely dependent on the world around them. They need others to tell them they are smart, beautiful, and worthy. If the world stops clapping, their confidence collapses. But when you learn to connect with yourself in the quiet, you build a solid foundation. You become your own source of validation. You do not need a crowd to tell you who you are because you already know. You do not need constant noise to feel alive. You find peace in the simple act of existing. This is the true meaning of self-connection. It is the moment you realize that being alone is not a punishment. It is a sacred space where you can finally heal, plan, and grow into the person you were always meant to be. Part 2. Stop chasing and start choosing yourself. You sit with your phone in your hand. You stare at the blank screen. You wait for a name to pop up. Your chest feels tight. Your heart beats faster every time the phone vibrates. But it is just a random notification. It is not them. You feel a cold wave of disappointment wash over you. You ask yourself why you care so much. You wonder why you are always the one who reaches out first. You are the one who sends the long paragraphs. You are the one who makes all the plans. You are the one who says sorry even when you did nothing wrong. This is not connection. This is a slow form of self-torture. You are running after someone who is not even walking toward you. When you chase someone, you send a clear message to your own mind. You tell yourself that your worth depends on their attention. You tell yourself that you are not enough on your own. This constant pursuit leaves you drained and anxious. You spend your days waiting for a text back, checking their social media, and overthinking every single word they say. You are living your life based on their schedule. You are putting your own happiness on hold just to keep them in your life. Let us look at the hard truth. There is a massive difference between loving someone and begging them to love you. Love is a two-way street. It flows naturally. It does not require you to lose your dignity. But chasing is an endless struggle. It is a desperate attempt to force someone to see your value. If you have to beg for a text back, that is not love. If you have to explain your worth over and over, that is not love. If you have to walk on eggshells just to keep them happy, that is not love. You are simply being tolerated. You are a convenience to them. They talk to you when they are bored. They call you when they have no other options. They use your kindness to feed their own ego, and when they get what they want, they disappear again. They leave you with a million questions and an empty heart. You must stop playing this game. You must stop standing at doors that are closed in your face. Think about how much energy you have wasted on people who do not even care about your day. Think about how many times you ignored your own feelings just to make things easy for them. You deserve more than scraps of attention. You deserve a love that is certain, a friendship that is mutual, and a peace that is constant. Why do we do this to ourselves? We do it because we are terrified of the alternative. We are scared of the quiet room. We are afraid that if we stop chasing, we will end up completely alone. We mistake the anxiety of the chase for the spark of passion. We think that if a relationship is hard, it must be special. But peace is not dramatic. Real love does not make you feel sick to your stomach. It does not keep you awake at 3 a.m. wondering where you stand. You are not actually missing the person. You are missing the temporary high of their attention. You are in love with the potential of what they could be, not the reality of who they are. You are holding on to memories from the beginning when everything was easy. But those days are gone. The person you are chasing today is not the person from your memories. They have shown you who they really are through their coldness, their silence, and their lack of effort. It is time to believe them. When someone shows you they do not care, stop trying to convince them otherwise. Walk away with your head held high. Choosing yourself is the moment you reclaim your power. It is the day you decide that your peace of mind is more important than anyone else's presence. It is not an act of anger. You do not need to start a fight. You do not need to block them and cause a scene. You simply need to step back. Stop sending the first message. Stop asking why they changed. Stop trying to fix things that they are happy to leave broken. When you stop chasing, you will feel a strange mix of pain and relief. It will hurt to realize that they are not reaching back. It will hurt to watch them let you go without a fight. But that pain is clean. It is the pain of truth. It is far better than the dirty pain of begging for scraps of attention. When you choose yourself, you start to rebuild your boundaries. You decide what you will tolerate and what you will walk away from. You start to see that being alone is not a failure. It is a choice to protect your own heart. Your time is precious. Your energy is limited. Your heart is a sacred space. Why are you giving these valuable gifts to people who treat them like trash? When you learn to be alone, you realize that your own company is far better than bad company. You would rather sit in a quiet room with your self-respect than sit in a crowded room where you feel invisible. You start to treat yourself with the care you used to give to others. You buy yourself a good meal. You take yourself on walks. You focus on your own health, your own career, and your own mind. You realize that you do not need anyone to complete you. You are already a whole person. The right people will find you when you are standing strong in your own truth. They will not make you feel like a burden. They will not make you beg for basic respect. Until they arrive, you must be strong enough to stand alone. You must become your own protector. Stop chasing the wrong people and let the right life find you in the quiet. Part 3. The Forge of Silence. Let us change how you look at your quiet hours. Many people think that having nothing to do is a waste of time. They look at a blank calendar and feel a sense of dread. They believe that if they are not busy, they are falling behind. But you must understand something crucial. Solitude is not empty space. Solitude is a workshop. It is a quiet laboratory where you build the most resilient version of yourself. When the world stops demanding your attention, your real work begins. You are no longer performing for an audience. You are no longer wearing a mask to please your friends or family. You are completely alone with your raw potential. This is not a time to feel lonely. This is a time to train. Think of this period as a secret preparation stage. The greatest structures in the world are not built in public. They are built behind tall walls and heavy scaffolding. No one sees the foundation being poured. No one claps for the workers when they dig deep into the dirt. But without that hidden work, the building would collapse at the first storm. Your life is the same. Your quiet hours are the foundation. If you do not build strength when you are alone, you will crumble when the world tests you. In the quiet, you learn a hard but beautiful truth. You learn to become your own biggest supporter. When you are surrounded by people, it is easy to keep going. They cheer for you, they give you compliments, they tell you that you are doing a great job. But what happens when the crowd goes home? What happens when the room is silent and the lights are low? This is where true character is tested. A strong person does not need a stadium full of people to keep moving forward. They have a fire inside their own chest. They learn to clap for their own small victories. Did you get out of bed today, even though your heart was heavy? That is a victory. Did you choose to drink water and eat a healthy meal instead of giving up? That is a victory. Did you complete a difficult task without anyone watching? That is a victory. You must learn to look in the mirror and say, I am proud of you. I see your effort. I see your silent struggles, and I will not let you quit. This self-reliance is a shield. When you learn to validate yourself, the opinions of others lose their power. You no longer need their praise to feel worthy. You no longer fear their criticism. You become stable because your foundation is built on your own respect, not on the shifting sands of public approval. Real strength is not born in easy moments. It is forged in the silent battles that nobody else knows about. We all have nights when the weight of the world feels too heavy. We have moments when the tears flow freely and we want to throw our hands up in surrender. You might have felt this way recently. You might have sat on the edge of your bed feeling completely exhausted from trying. You wondered if things would ever get better. But here is the magic of your story. You cried, you felt the pain, but you still woke up the next morning. You washed your face, you put on your shoes, and you took another step forward. That is where your power lies. It is not in never falling. It is in the quiet decision to stand up one more time. Every time you survive a difficult day without complaining to the world, you become stronger. You are teaching your brain that you can handle hard things. You are proving to yourself that you are not fragile. These silent victories build a deep, quiet confidence. It is a confidence that does not need to shout. It does not need to show off on social media. It simply knows. I have been in the dark before, and I know how to find the light. One of the greatest skills you will develop in the quiet is emotional control. In a loud world, we are trained to react to everything. We receive a mean text message and our blood boils. We see an ex-partner with someone else, and we feel a wave of anger. We get ignored, and we immediately beg for attention. But when you master solitude, you learn the art of the pause. You learn to sit with your emotions without letting them drive your actions. When a painful thought arises, you do not run away. You do not pick up your phone to drown it out. Instead, you look at the pain. You say, "I see you, I feel you, but you do not control me." You choose not to send that angry reply. You choose not to call the person who treated you poorly. You choose not to run back to toxic habits just to feel a temporary escape. This is true freedom. If a single text message can ruin your entire day, you are still a prisoner. If someone's silence can make you question your worth, you have given them your power. Solitude helps you take that power back. It teaches you that emotions are like waves. They rise, they peak, and they eventually wash away. You do not need to fight the wave. You just need to stand firm until it passes. Think of your mind like a muscle. When you go to the gym, you do not lift light weights and expect to grow. You put pressure on the muscle. You push it to its limits. The muscle fibers tear, and in the quiet hours of rest, they rebuild stronger than before. Solitude is the gym for your mind. The pressure of being alone can feel heavy. It can feel uncomfortable. But that discomfort is the feeling of growth. It is your character expanding. Do not waste this precious training time. Many people make the mistake of using their alone time to simply wait. They sit on the couch, scroll through social media, and wait for someone to save them from their boredom. This is a tragic waste of potential. Use this time to build. Create a daily routine that serves your future. Start with small, simple actions. Clean your room. A clean space leads to a clean mind. When you fold your clothes and clear your desk, you are telling yourself that your life has order. Read a book. Even 5 pages a day will feed your mind with new ideas. Move your body. Take a walk, stretch, or do a quick workout. Physical movement releases the stagnant energy in your chest. Write down your thoughts. Put your fears, your dreams, and your plans on paper. When you write, you take the chaos out of your head and organize it. Practice a new skill. Spend 10 minutes practicing your English speaking. Speak aloud to the empty room. These small daily actions might seem insignificant, but when you repeat them day after day, they compound. They build a solid wall of discipline. The person you will be 1 year from now is being created in the quiet moments of today. Every choice you make when no one is watching matters. When you choose to read instead of scroll, you are choosing growth. When you choose to sit with your loneliness instead of calling a toxic ex, you are choosing self-respect. When you choose to work on your goals instead of sleeping in, you are choosing success. You are the author of your own life. Do not let other people hold the pen. The crowd will always try to pull you back into the noise. They want you to be as distracted and anxious as they are. But you must remain steadfast. Embrace the quiet forge. Let the silence burn away your weaknesses. Let it sharpen your focus. Let it build your discipline. When you emerge from this quiet season, the world will notice a change in you. They will see a person who is calmer, stronger, and more grounded. They will wonder where you got your strength, but they will not know about the silent battles you fought. They will not know about the nights you spent rebuilding your own mind. Only you will know, and that will be your greatest victory. Part 4. Becoming your own best friend. Think about how much power you give to other people. If someone compliments your outfit, you feel happy all day. If someone ignores your message, your mood instantly drops. If they criticize your work, you feel small and useless. This is a very fragile way to live. Your happiness is constantly going up and down. You are letting other people control your emotions. You are letting them hold the remote control to your mind. This is not peace. This is emotional dependence. Real freedom begins when you can sit with yourself and feel complete. It starts when you do not need someone else to tell you that you are worthy. You must become comfortable with your own presence. You must learn to enjoy your own thoughts. You must learn to love your own energy. After all, the relationship you have with yourself is the only permanent relationship in your life. Friends will come and go. Partners might leave. Family members might move away. Situations will change, but you will always have to live with yourself. If you do not like the person in the mirror, your life will always feel heavy. If you do not trust yourself, every decision will feel impossible. Let us look at how you talk to yourself. When you make a mistake, what is the first thing you say? Do you call yourself stupid? Do you tell yourself that you always fail? Do you say that nobody cares about you? These harsh words do real damage to your mind. Your subconscious mind is always listening. It believes everything you say. If you constantly tell yourself that you are useless, you will start to act like it. You would never speak to a close friend this way. If a friend made a mistake, you would comfort them. You would tell them that it is okay. You would remind them of their strength. Why do you treat yourself worse than a stranger? It is time to change the inner conversation. Start speaking to yourself with kindness. Use simple, gentle words. Tell yourself that you are learning. Tell yourself that you are growing. You are not perfect, but you are trying. You are improving every single day. You can handle this challenge. You deserve peace. You deserve respect. You will not give up on yourself. These sentences are simple, but they hold incredible power. The way you speak to yourself shapes your entire reality. Imagine waking up early on a quiet Sunday morning. The house is completely still. The sun is just starting to rise, casting a warm light across the room. You brew a hot cup of tea or coffee. You sit by the window and watch the world wake up. You do not check your phone. You do not look at social media. You just sit there enjoying the warmth of the mug in your hands. This is the beauty of your own company. It is not lonely. It is peaceful. Think about taking a long walk in the park without headphones. You do not need music to distract you. You do not need a podcast to fill the silence. You just listen to the sound of your own footsteps. You feel the wind on your face. You look at the trees and the sky. You are completely present in your own life. These simple moments of solo activity are deeply healing. They teach you that you do not need constant entertainment to feel happy. You do not need another person to make a moment special. You are enough to make a moment beautiful. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Do you only see your flaws and your wrinkles? Or do you see a survivor? You must start looking at yourself with pride. Think about all the difficult days you have survived. Think about the times your heart was broken and you thought you would never smile again. Think about the nights you cried yourself to sleep but still woke up the next day to keep going. You made it through all of that. You did not give up. You are still here, standing strong. That is something to be immensely proud of. You do not need to wait for someone else to tell you that you did a good job. You can tell yourself, become your own biggest fan. Become your own healer. When you start to appreciate your own strength, your entire energy shifts. You stop looking for external validation because you have already validated yourself. This self-sufficiency changes how you interact with the world. It completely transforms your relationships. When you are afraid of being alone, you choose people out of desperation. You accept anyone who shows you a little bit of attention. You stay in toxic friendships because you fear the quiet. You tolerate disrespect because you do not want to be lonely. But when you enjoy your own company, everything changes. You no longer need people just to fill an empty space. You stop choosing partners out of fear. You start choosing them out of alignment. You only allow people into your life who bring peace, respect, and joy. If someone drains your energy or disrespects your boundaries, you have no problem letting them go. You know that going back to a quiet room is not a punishment. It is a return to peace. You protect your energy like a precious treasure. You become very selective about who gets access to your time. Practicing this does not mean you have to isolate yourself from the world. It does not mean you hate people or want to live like a hermit. It simply means you are no longer desperate. You can enjoy a loud party, but you can also enjoy a quiet evening alone. You can love someone deeply, but you do not lose your identity in them. You can cherish your friendships, but your happiness does not depend on their constant presence. This is true maturity. This is real emotional stability. Start small. Take yourself out for a meal. Sit at a table alone and enjoy your food without staring at your screen. Go to a movie by yourself. Spend 10 minutes every night writing down 3 things you appreciate about yourself. Talk to your reflection in the mirror and offer yourself words of encouragement. Be the friend you always wanted to have. When you become your own safe place, the world loses its power to break you. You become steady, peaceful, and truly free. Part 5. Rebuilding after the storm. There are moments in life when the weight of being alone feels too heavy to carry. You look around your room and realize that the people you expected to stay have walked away. You try to explain your pain to those around you, but nobody seems to truly understand. You put on a fake smile when you go out, but deep inside, you know that everything is shifting. Perhaps you recently lost a relationship that meant the world to you. Perhaps someone you trusted completely turned their back on you when you needed them most. Maybe your plans failed, your job ended, or your heart is simply tired of trying. In these moments, your quiet room can feel like a dark, cold prison. But you must listen to this truth very carefully. A dark room is not always a place of ending. Sometimes it is the exact place where a completely new life begins. Think of a seed planted deep in the earth. It is buried in the dark, cold dirt. It is completely alone. It seems like the end of its story. But that darkness is actually the environment it needs to break open, grow roots, and reach for the sunlight. Your current season of isolation is not your burial. It is your planting. When your life is filled with constant noise, you cannot hear the whispers of your own soul. When you are always surrounded by people, you keep pretending that everything is fine. You wear a mask of happiness to keep others comfortable. You stay busy to avoid the heavy feelings in your chest. But when the crowd leaves and you are left with the silence, the truth finally comes forward. You can no longer run from your wounds. You see exactly what is broken in your life. You understand which parts of your heart need deep healing. You realize what you have been running away from for so many years. This realization is painful, but it is the exact moment where rebuilding begins. You cannot fix a house if you refuse to look at the cracked foundation. Solitude forces you to look at the foundation of your life. Do not waste your quiet season asking the wrong questions. Stop asking, "Why did they leave me?" Stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" Stop asking, "Why is my life so hard?" These questions keep you trapped in the past. They make you feel like a victim of your circumstances. Instead, you must start asking better, more powerful questions. Ask yourself, what is this painful season trying to teach me? Ask yourself, which parts of my character need to become stronger? Ask yourself, what bad habits do I need to leave behind today? Ask yourself, what mistakes did I make that I must never repeat? Ask yourself, what kind of life do I truly want to build from this point forward? These questions shift your mind from pain to power. They turn your suffering into deep, lasting wisdom. Many people stay broken for years because they only focus on the person who hurt them. They replay the betrayal over and over in their heads. But strong people do things differently. They take the raw pain and use it as fuel to rebuild. They do not allow rejection to destroy their self-worth. They let rejection teach them how to set better boundaries. They do not allow loneliness to make them desperate. They let loneliness teach them the power of patience. Rebuilding your life does not require a massive, dramatic change in a single day. You do not need to wake up tomorrow as a completely different person. You rebuild your life by taking one small, honest step every single day. Start by cleaning your environment. Clean your physical space. Wash the dishes. Fold your laundry. Clear the clutter from your desk. A messy room creates a messy mind. When you organize your room, you send a signal to your brain that you are taking control of your life. Next, clean your daily routine. Look at how you start your morning. When you wake up, do you immediately reach for your phone? Do you check social media to see what everyone else is doing? Do you check your messages to see if that person finally texted you back? When you do this, you let the outside world hijack your mind before you even open your eyes. Stop doing this. When you wake up, check your own mind first. Sit on the edge of your bed for a moment. Ask yourself, how do I feel today? Ask yourself, what do I need to do to take care of myself today? Ask yourself, what is one small action I can take to move forward? Then take that action. Read 5 pages of a book that makes you wiser. Write down your raw thoughts in a journal to clear the mental fog. Move your body, stretch, or go for a quick walk to get your blood flowing. Drink a glass of water to refresh your system. Practice your English speaking skills by talking to yourself in the mirror. Work on a project that feeds your soul. These actions might seem small, but they are incredibly powerful. One page of reading can restart your mind. One short workout can restart your energy. One quiet prayer can restart your peace. One disciplined decision can restart your entire life. When you are rebuilding from the ground up, every single choice matters. You do not need to fix everything at once. You only need to stop destroying yourself today. Stop going back to the people who broke your heart. Stop watching things that make you feel anxious or weak. Stop comparing your progress to the fake lives you see online. Stop calling yourself a failure just because you had a bad day. Stop living as if your story has already ended. Your story is not over. Perhaps a chapter has ended. Perhaps a relationship has reached its final page. Perhaps a dream you held on to has failed. Perhaps an older version of you had to break down. But your book is still open. You are still holding the pen. You have the power to write a completely new chapter. And this time, you will write it with more wisdom, more strength, and more self-respect. You will not be the same person who begged for attention. You will not be the same person who ignored the warning signs in people. You will not be the same person who trusted blindly and forgot their own value. You will be calmer. You will be clearer. You will be stronger. You will be someone who understands that peace of mind is non-negotiable. This is the true gift of your quiet season. Solitude removes the useless noise so you can finally hear your true purpose. It removes the distracting crowd so you can clearly see your own path. It takes away the fake comfort of bad relationships so you can build real, unshakable strength. Do not fear this quiet period of your life. Respect it. Embrace it. This lonely season is not a punishment from the universe. It is a preparation. It is teaching you how to stand on your own 2 feet. It is teaching you how to be independent. It is preparing you for a future that is peaceful, stable, and deeply fulfilling. If you are alone right now, change your perspective. Do not think your life is empty. Tell yourself that life has given you space. Space to heal your wounds. Space to grow your mind. Space to understand your heart. Space to rebuild your future. Space to become truly powerful. Use this space wisely. One day you will look back at this exact moment in your life. You will smile and you will say that the time when you were completely alone did not destroy you. It was the exact time that rebuilt you into the strong person you are today. Part 6. The ultimate promise to yourself. Think about the deepest pain you have ever felt in your life. It was probably not when someone walked out of your life. It was the moment you realized you let them walk all over you. The greatest tragedy in life is not losing a friend or a partner. The greatest tragedy is losing yourself while trying to keep them. We do this in small, quiet ways every single day. We stay silent when we want to speak up. We smile when our heart is breaking. We change our plans, our style, and our dreams just to fit into someone else's world. We ignore the cold feeling in our stomach. We pretend their bad behavior is just a mistake. We make excuses for their silence. We apologize for things we did not do. In doing all of this, we make a silent agreement. We agree to treat ourselves like an afterthought. We decide that their comfort is worth more than our own peace. This is the moment you abandon yourself. It is a slow, quiet betrayal of your own soul. You trade your self-respect for a little bit of temporary attention. You let them treat you like an option while you treat them like a priority. But today, you must stop this cycle. You must stand up for the person in the mirror. You need to make a solemn vow that you will never leave your own side again. Say these words to yourself right now. I will not abandon myself. I will not ignore my own pain. I will not destroy my peace to keep someone else comfortable. This is not a selfish decision. It is a matter of survival. When you make this promise, your whole perspective shifts. You realize that you are the only person who will be with you from the first breath to the last. Other people can offer support. They can give you advice. They can hold your hand for a while, but they cannot walk your path for you. They cannot fight the battles that happen inside your mind at midnight. They cannot carry the weight of your memories. You must do that alone. If you do not protect your own heart, who will? If you do not stand up for your own worth, No one else will do it for you. You must become your own strongest ally. When the storm comes and everyone else runs away, you must be the one who stays to rebuild. You must learn to look at your wounds and say, I am here for you. I will not let you fall. I will not let them break you again. This promise requires you to accept a very hard truth. Walking away from toxic situations will hurt. It might be the hardest thing you ever do. You may have to close a door with tears streaming down your face. You may have to say goodbye to someone you still love deeply. You might not get the apology you deserve. They might never understand why you left. They might call you selfish. They might tell others that you are the bad person. They might judge your silence and criticize your distance. Let them. You do not need to explain your journey to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You do not need to win an argument to protect your peace. Your silence is your boundary. Your distance is your medicine. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply walk away and never look back. It is not about proving a point to them. It is about proving to yourself that you are worth protecting. You do not need their closure to heal. Your decision to choose yourself is all the closure you need. The goal of this quiet strength is not to make you cold. You are not trying to build a thick wall of anger around your heart. You are not trying to shut out the world forever. The goal is to become crystal clear. You want to be clear about your value. You want to be clear about your boundaries. You want to be clear about who gets access to your energy. Your life is a sacred space. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. It is okay to be selective. It is okay to say no. When you respect your own energy, you stop letting careless people play with your feelings. You stop accepting crumbs of attention. You start to see that your peace is worth more than a crowded room. You learn to stand alone, steady and calm, knowing that you are complete just as you are. This is the ultimate victory of solitude. It is the moment you become truly unshakable. When you make this promise, you no longer look for a savior. You realize that the savior you were waiting for has been looking back at you in the mirror all along. Learning to be alone is not about building cold walls against the world. It is not about shutting out the possibility of love or refusing to trust people. It is about building a solid foundation within your own heart. When you learn to enjoy your own company, you are creating a life that does not collapse when someone decides to walk out of your door. You are ensuring that your joy is not dependent on the temporary attention of others. The quiet hours you spend with yourself are not a waste of time. They are full of healing growth and self-discovery. The moments that felt like they were breaking you were actually saving you. They were pulling you away from toxic paths and bad habits. They were shaping you into a person of deep peace and quiet power. When you learn to stand firm in your own silence, you become truly unshakable. The world can no longer control your mood or dictate your worth. You hold your own value. You direct your own future. You are the author of your own story, and you have finally taken the pen back. Do not run from the quiet moments. Embrace them. Let the silence teach you. Let it make you wiser, calmer, and stronger. You have survived the storm, and now you are ready to build a beautiful life. Your peace is your power. Your stillness is your strength. When you learn to be still in a noisy world, you become someone life cannot easily shake. If this message brought peace to your heart, please give this video a like. Share it with someone who might be struggling in their own lonely season. Subscribe to this channel for more simple lessons, motivation, and practical guidance on your self-improvement journey. Keep moving forward. Keep trusting your quiet path. Remember that a peaceful mind is the ultimate source of strength. You are doing much better than you think. Stand strong, stay calm, and keep growing every single day.